We are following breaking news right now. The Lilac fire burning in Bonsall is now 10% contained. We just got that update. It is still 80 acres. At least 3 brush fires started in North County overnight.
We want to show you a map so you can get an idea of where we're talking about. The largest and still active fire is the Lilac fire. Now, forward progress has been stopped for the Paula fire and Riverview fires. We have team coverage this morning.
Both Chris Groh and Regina Yorita are live at the scene of the Lilac fire. That's the largest active one. We do want to start with Regina. With what it looks like now, Regina, we see a lot of lights still there with a heavy firefighting scene out there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, guys, and just to give you an idea, we're off of the old Highway 395, just close to the Lilac Road. Now, to my right, we have several fire engines. We have many fire crews still here working really tremendously to try to keep those flames contained. And if we actually head to my right at the top, you're still seeing those orange flames. That's what firefighters are still dealing with. We're getting some daylight here. That was one of their biggest challenges, really the low visibility that they had. But as we're getting more sunlight, that is some good news because they're trying to actually bring in the air tanker to start assisting with these flames. So far, we've seen the copter drop have water drops here. That's been several water drops since this morning, but crews here on the ground have been putting out those flames. They've been dealing again with low visibility because there is hardly any sunlight, but as we get some, that's going to be some good news. Now, those 2 Black Hawk copters that we've seen that are flying over, they have been assisting with those water drops, but because of the location where it's burning, there are multiple homes being threatened. So CAL FIRE says that several structures have been damaged, but they don't tell us exactly what type of structures and how much damage those structures have endured. Right now, there is an evacuation warning for areas of Camino del Cielo, Camino del Rey, and Lilac Road. If we can pull up on your screen there, we can actually see the evacuation point. It is at Castle Creek Country Club. Right now, officials are recommending that if you have any large animals or any animals that could be threatened by this fire, you can take them to the Del Mar Show Park or to the California Ranch. But if we head back live out here, again, really the biggest situation are those flames. You're still seeing orange flames, some white smoke, which is some good news. That white smoke shows that we are seeing some progress there and no structures are being damaged or burned in that area. Again, fire crews are doing the best that they can to really cut line. So far, it is standing at 80 acres, and right now it is 10% contained. We do have my colleague Chris Groh at another location to kind of give you a better vantage point of what they're dealing with on the north side. Chris.
Yeah, Regina, I want to show you right now with the crews, the hand crews, the chain crews right now. You can hear those chainsaws working, those firefighters working there, trying to clear a lot of that debris, that dry brush that has either burned or has not burned, trying to clear away some of the fuel. Now, what's interesting, of course, is that we believe this is close to where the fire started. We know that it started maybe somewhere near the 15 based on the path and direction of the flames, and then jumped up to where we are right now, the 395, and over the hillside where there are still some smoldering flames. But you can see, even as the crews work, some of those sparks, some of those embers start to jump up, and then you have those who have the high ground that have those water hoses that have been going right now, trying to make sure that these hot spots are put out. Again, you mentioned that containment number, 10% containment. This is how we get that line circling around this fire and begin to strangle it, if you will. We get that containment, and after that forward rate of progress has been slowed or even stopped. Now, we don't know at this time, again, if we could be potentially getting the newer containment numbers. We just got that 10% number. So again, we have to be patient here when we're talking about numbers coming out here with the firefight. Things can change in an instant. We felt that the wind has gusted pretty strongly here before we came to us, and it sounded a lot different even than where Regina is, which is, again, just south of where we are. But in these hills, while we know that we are, again, experiencing Santa Ana's, in these hills, the wind can get blowing in different directions, north, south, and so forth, just because of the terrain and where we are. You get those gusts, you get those swirls here in this area. Similar to Regina, we did see some water drops as well, too. We've seen a lot of this, though, a lot of these engines that have been going in from a lot of different parts of our area. CAL FIRE, we saw Riverside CAL FIRE battalion chiefs here as well too. The department, the USDA Forest Service fire crews. So there are a number of different agencies that are helping to get this fire and to put it out as quickly as they can. Again, trying to protect people and property first and foremost. And you can see these CAL FIRE firefighters working their tails off right now here on this hillside, doing what they can to try to make sure that they can keep this contained and not see anything spark back out of control. Evan and Netta.
Chris Groh, Regina Yorita, thank you very much for those live looks for us. And by the way, we should point out for the large animal evacuations for the Lilac fire, they are now asking you to take them to the California Ranch Company. That's on Anza Road in Temecula only, not the Del Mar Show Park. So Temecula only for animals. Meanwhile, Forward Progress has stopped on the Pala fire. That's another fire near Interstate 15 southbound and Stewart Canyon Road. They got a good handle on that, thankfully. North County Fire Protection District saying evacuations have been lifted. Cal Fire says fire crews are remaining on scene to mop up the Pala fire, which has burned at least 17 acres, still 0% containment. The cause of that fire is not known at this time. There's also another fire to let you know about. Crews have also stopped forward rate of spread for what's called the Riverview fire. This one reported in the 1200 block of Riverview Drive in Fallbrook. It only burned about 1 acre. Overnight, the winds also started picking up. So, of course, we saw these dangerous conditions. Evan, what's happening right now? What can we expect today?
So this is our most intense window, like you mentioned, and you heard Chris even mention how those winds are kind of coming from every direction, because when you're on the front lines of those fires can kind of make their own weather. They tend to dramatically change in terms of wind speed, wind direction, wind gusts. When we look at Julian, for example, this is one of those spots that we've been checking in on. We're grateful that we don't see any fires in the Julian area, and that's because we've got gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. But countywide, wind gusts and wind speeds are a top concern, not only because of how dramatically they can spread these fires, but also because they tend to drive down our humidity levels. Humidity is very helpful to fire crews. When we see more humidity and more moisture in the atmosphere, that can tend to lower the rate of spread of these fires. But when we are very dry out there, as we are right now, we tend to see those fires spread rapidly. In turn, a red flag warning is in effect until 10 p.m. today, with those gusty easterly winds and low relative humidity. Could cause some difficult driving conditions, especially off toward our mountain passes across San Diego County. We have it in effect for our Inland Valley locations and our mountains, all the way up to the LA area and even north of LA. On top of that, we've got a high wind warning. This is in effect until 8 p.m. today, with speeds between 25 and 35 miles per hour and gusts upwards of 75 miles per hour. We already saw Sill Hill come in around 102 miles per hour. So there is no doubt about the possibility of those winds climbing above 75 and even 100 miles per hour. The plus side is that most of those most intense wind gusts have already come. They came earlier today and late last night, and now we're going to be watching as those winds die down over the course of the day. We're at 10% relative humidity in Fallbrook. This is a very low number. We tend to see those red flag warnings take effect when these numbers are in the teens or lower. I mean, look at Fallbrook at 10%, Alpine at 5%, Campo at 12%, Mount Laguna at 11%. And these are overnight numbers, right? We have sunrise coming in just a few minutes. Once we get past sunrise, all of these numbers are expected to fall. And that's because once that sun comes up, it tends to dry us out even more. Today's forecast, nonetheless, despite our fire danger, is still beautiful out there. I mean, we've got mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s. It's a warmer than normal day. Just watch out for the wind and just be aware of that high fire danger. You probably don't notice how warm it's going to be for the afternoon when you're looking out in Ramona at 28 degrees right now. So a cold start to the morning across many of our inland valleys. 34 degrees in El Cajon, 48 in Alpine, 47 in San Diego, and 41 in Encinitas. At least we can experience some relief in knowing that a lot of these temperatures are going to climb significantly, in some cases double from where they are right now as we get toward our afternoon high. But as we start off our 6 o'clock hour, 6:40 here on the clock, temperatures are still very cold and in some cases below freezing. Let's take a look at how traffic is shaping up this morning. So far, it has been a fine commute on the 163 northbound and the 8 westbound, and that still holds, but the Coronado Bridge is quite slow right now. Downtown to Coronado, you are down to 8 miles per hour. You're at a 17-minute commute from downtown into Coronado, so you could be experiencing some very slow speeds out there. CBS8.com/traffic has more on it. Netta?
All right, Evan, thank you for that. And take a look at your screens right here. This is the updated map. Right now, more than 14,000 SDG&E customers have their power shut off because of the fire danger. Another 69,000 at risk of outages, all those spots in yellow there. SDG&E issues public safety power shutoffs to prevent fires from starting. And some San Diego County schools are closed due to high winds and power outages, and that includes Julian Union Elementary and High School districts, Mountain Empire Unified School District, and Warner Unified School District. Lakeside Farms Elementary and Dream Academy in Lakeside Union School District are also closed today.